How much did your dispensary lose to unmonitored discount leakage yesterday, or to cash sitting in frozen, slow-moving inventory that nobody's tracking? Wouldn't it be great if you could ask your dispensary these questions? All dispensary owners want to ask these questions and they want them answered. But I'm not going to have an AI start actually being able to do anything about it. So we made an MCP for our dispensary that is read-only. You talk to it like, you're talking to the AI and it's explaining what's going on in your dispensary, and then you use that to make whatever changes you want. I'm Tom Howard, a lawyer and dispensary owner, here to consult with you on how to hook up your AI to your dispensary's POS data so that you can have it help you understand what's going on and make better decisions to manage your dispensary. You're going to get a few things today. What is an MCP or an API, and how to hook them up to your AI of choice. We're going to be using Claude in our demo. And I have like 6 or 7 questions that we're going to be asking after we go over the higher level stuff, but let's get into it. So what is an MCP? An MCP is, well, according to this, it's the translator, not the AI and not the database. And it also did not define the acronym MCP. I believe it's Model Context Protocol. So you have me, the person that's going to be typing or talking into the AI client. That's your Claude or your ChatGPT. We set it up for both. We're kind of like AI agnostic because you should get a second opinion. And then we have our roll it up software that we've been building. And so to run the store, the dispensary, we create software to make sure our KPIs are being hit, looks at and manage our accounts payable, eventually to put a valuation on it. We've only been open for 2.5 months. So you can't put a valuation on that cash flow yet, but we will. And then we have Dutchie, and that's an API. And so I don't care what POS you're using. We would just be like, do you have an API key? Okay, let's get to building this. And your API key, I think that's in our second one. An API, that is a application program interface. And so it's one thing that any piece of software should try to make, because then it's how does one piece of software talk to another piece of software. For example, we have QBO in ours, we have Google Workspace in ours, we have Dutchie in ours as well. And how do all these pieces of software talk to one another? Usually through the API. And then there's these things called endpoints, and that's like a specific request. There's a lot of things in databases that you may not be aware of. You might. If you are, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah. But anyway, you ask for data, that API returns that data. And I'm looking at the data from our sales from, like I said, we've only been open for like 2.5 months. And then we're going to ask some questions from it. And so your API key, secrets, and then we need those to configure the MCP server that we would set up. I think we kind of skip over endpoints, and we made ours read only. And so that means that it can't, like the APIs could read and write to one another. And so you could have them overriding the data that's there, or creating new things that you'd be able to have, new configurations, new settings. We don't have that. We don't have like the ability, for example, for it to change the price. We have a piece of software that we do allow the ability for it to change the price, but that's only after we've reviewed everything. So even then we put like a hiccup in it, so it doesn't just immediately go based on what the AI thinks. And you can set yours up. You can have your AI set it up for you. I mean, I'm not going to say that Claude or ChatGPT can't do this. You would. It's technical. You'd have to work with it. There's going to be a piece of software called a railway, and that is where the MCP server is hosted. And so you would have that ongoing cost, and that railway custom MCP is kind of like the translator online, is what they say. It's between the two things, the Dutchie API and the ChatGPT client. And so we're going to go over some questions, because like all the technical stuff, great. If you want our help with it, go follow me on X or on LinkedIn and give me a DM. I'm at Tom Weedlaw on X, and you can just search for Thomas Howard Lawyer on LinkedIn. You'll find me. Anyway, let's pivot a little bit. We're going to be going to some questions. Here is our Claude, and so we have to use Claude for this one. That's our first couple of months. Like I said, we've only been up for a couple of months, and that's our trajectory that we're on. getting to break even after a couple of months, which is lovely considering it is a highly saturated area. Now, what was the question that I wanted to ask this one? Let's do with discounts that actually fired counts leakage. No names, rows, IDs, or dollars. That's clearly an AI made question. Okay, so we have Claude thinking about it. It's been going after it for about a minute and a half. So we asked it, what actually hit our margin? Compare today's catalog and discounts with returns and leakage. And let's see what it comes up with. Claude takes forever to think. It says that it's almost done thinking though. Yep, it's spitting out. Okay, isn't that fun? You can just stay on top of everything that's going on in your dispensary now by creating one of these. So much so, like, we're building other software and we're like, well, we should probably get one of these first. And it was helpful. So discounts configured, 51, effective right now. Discount lines, configured specials, leakage rates. Nearly 2/3 of discounted lines from discounts that exist in no specials catalog. Point redemptions, employee and manager discounts. I gotta watch out for that. And then 52% of your active catalog is idle. Ugh. So that's not good. Products with stock, location overrides. But let's ask it like a more direct question. Where are we losing margins the most? And then make sure that you don't hit space between the and most. Okay, I'll see you in about a minute. And there it goes. Just feeding us a whole bunch of information, I tell you. You have to read a lot more after the AI. It says it used 3 tools, and it took it about a minute. And total leakage is about 26%, promotional specials, loyalty redemptions, employee managers discounts. So our gross margin on flower is only about 44%. Pre-rolls are about 48.5. Edibles, they're always kind of higher, and beverages too. One of the reasons why everybody wants the beverages. Single biggest drain, 101 reasons to grab an ounce. Yeah, that's the thing though. You gotta have product velocity. So like if you have like a 44-ish% flower margin and product velocity, I mean, it's a small, okay, best brands by worst offenders in volume. We're not gonna go over that. But, sometimes, I don't, like, this is why it doesn't have right abilities. Like, we just want to look at it for understanding the data. And then, our business judgment's our business judgment. The theory about margins and leakage and discounting, those are everywhere in the industry. And if you want any help with them, let us know. Hey, let's go to the next question. All right. The next question, where's our cash frozen? Can we afford the proposed deal? Oh, that one's pretty interesting. Test 10% off, 15% off, and 20% off against a 47% margin floor. If the deal fails, say no go. How long is it going to think about this one? Well, let's enter it in. Oh, shit. It's one of those things. The model is overloaded. I should not have tried to use Claude during a Tuesday in business hours. That was my fault. I should have just used ChatGPT. And we're back with ChatGPT. And so Claude did eventually spit that out, but I just figured I would. Okay, that's substantially faster. Okay, anyway, we got a lot of no-goes here. It depends on what the gross margin requirement is, 47% gross margin floor. It wants us to do no-goes on starting gross margin required would be like 52.3 for 10% off. And then it's giving me like, you should try to do it a different way. Margin gated offer that, but only those economics remain. I'd say find the use for applying like this one. And so there you go. ChatGPT does look like it's substantially faster than Claude, and it also doesn't like have watermarks as far as we're aware. So yeah, they helped you figure out what your SKUs are, what ones you could do it with, and then to try to do those types of promotional things so that you still hit your gross margin, because like this industry is so promotional in the sense that like the real price is never the real price. It's always 40% off, 30. And then the wholesalers do it to us. They're like, oh, we'll give you this much of a discount if you pass it on. Okay, cool. But then you're going to have this discounting game that you're going to play. And if you want any help with it, hook us up. But how about this one? This is a good one. Rank categories by gross profit dollars. Flag high revenue categories below the 47% margin target. Now, that's an extremely high margin target, but come on, why not? And away it goes. Of course, it's going to think for a little bit. It'll still be faster than Claude. Will it be better? You can also hook it up to Claude and then review this one first and then review the one that Claude finally gives you. All right, let's tell you. Oh, and it even did me a chart. That's great. So we're below target. Pre-rolls are all right. Edibles, bevs. I like how they say tinctures, below but immaterial. That's what I think about tinctures sometimes. I mean, let's not get off into asides too much. But wouldn't this really be helpful for you in running your dispensary to have the ability to talk to it and get all this data back? Well, let us know. Happy to help you out. Let's do one more question and we'll wrap it up. Did yesterday's money tie? Because you do have to count. You have to open and close. Survey says yes. Actually, I'll do it like this. Survey says yes, it did. Pass. The drawer, vault, deposit, and tender story all tie out. That's a good thing. Imagine if that didn't tie out. You'd have a real issue. Okay, how about this one? This one is great. Find the fastest moving repeatable eighth. Calculate by ceiling at 50% markup and 50% margin. Okay, and it is off. Coming in. 50 units in 18 days, way ahead of the other ones at 25.6 a unit. And so you have to $25 eighths. If you have that, then what? Max retail, $13.50. So then you can use that to go try to get deals from your wholesalers. So anyway, do you think this would be helpful for your dispensary that you're trying to run? If you could just talk to it, have the AI analyze it, any AI you want. And so one of the nice things that I like to do is trajectories and tracks, and then figuring out how to turn everything on that we need to have turned on in the systems that we use. It's quite helpful. If you want more on this, get at me over at tom@collateralbase.com or on X. I'm at Tom. LinkedIn here. I guess you could drop it in the comment. I'll pin where you could actually book a consultation with me to talk about, using the AI to run your dispensary more profitably, more effectively. This is a new style that we're going to be launching, a new channel called Dealer Dispute, and using this CLN network as our sister channel. When we talk about this industry, I'll put them on here. But then when we talk about just business or industry in general, we'll put it on over there. I'll also leave something for you to subscribe to that. So if you're a business owner that cares about how the law works or how you can use AI to benefit your business, go check out that channel. We'll see you on Sunday for the podcast.